Hello everybody, and welcome to ReZero Director's Cut episode 12 anime review. So, we're one episode away from the end. Next week's the finale. I've enjoyed rewatching ReZero, but that's all it's been, hasn't it? It's just been a rewatch. There's been nothing new. I'm starting to think. Here's what I think they're gonna do. I'm not gonna spoil it in case you've not read the books. I'm not gonna spoil exactly what happens. I think we're gonna. You remember where the original series ended, where we had Subaru smiling? I think we're gonna get Subaru smiling, and then we're gonna get the beginning of the epilogue, the scene in the carriage. If you read the books, you know what that means. I'm not gonna say anything else because in case they do put it in, I don't want to spoil it. So that's all I'm gonna say. I think we're literally gonna get that. Subaru's face will change or whatever, and then it'll be like, see you in 3 months for season 2. Please stay at 3 months. I can't take another delay. Yeah, let's just jump into this episode. As always, I'm gonna try and go through this quite quick because it is it's like a recap. It's this first season again. There was a scene that I thought they were going to add this week, but they didn't. Why bother calling it a director's cut? Just call it a rebroadcast. That's all it is. It's a bit frustrating, but it's not. It's a good show though, so I'm not going to complain. I do feel lied to though, and these reviews, not a waste of time because I enjoyed talking about it with the lovely people watching. So let's get into the episode. So Julius and Co show up. I'm sorry, not Julius. It's Julie or Yuli or Julius or I don't know any. Is it a silent? Not silent, but it's not a J. It's a Y, but it is a J. Does that make sense? That's how it makes sense. They show up, and Subaru does his best. He does his best to not cause a scene. But just look at his face. He's not a happy camper. They have a little laugh afterwards. They're like, but it's not laughing. They're just going ha 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 like that. It's pretty uncomfortable. When you see someone you really don't like and they don't like you, but you're in a public setting, so you gotta play nice. It was like that. It was uncomfortable to watch, but in a good way, because not like the other week where people getting brutally murdered. That was also uncomfortable to watch. Anyway, Subaru tells them the plan, going after the witch's cult. Everything good there. Everything planned out. Let's all get home alive. No deaths. That's definitely going to happen. Then Julius and Subaru thank each other for the whale and the beating and the sorry for the beating and everything. Subaru knows he was wrong. Still hate you though, Julius. You're an asshole. I'm not a fan of you, my dude. Subaru lures the cult to him and then meets up with, I was going to say Roswell then, not Roswell, Betelgeuse. They're different people, obviously. That should go without saying that they're different people. They're having surprisingly pleasant banter, I think is safe to say. Betelgeuse is still an insane maniac, but they're getting on quite well. Subaru, you fit in quite well. They call him Pride a few times, happens a lot through this episode. Different people call Subaru Pride, and Subaru's like, nope, that's not me. I'm not the guy. He probably is the guy, but he's not going that way. I don't know. I've not read nothing. I'm not read too ahead of the series. Betelgeuse gets mad suspicious because Subaru's not in his gospel. I guess it's sort of like a Bible, but for these weird cultists. Is a good way to put it. Subaru says he threw his out because it got dirty, and then unseen hand attack because, of course, the cat siblings save the day, collapse the pyramid base on. It's sort of like a pyramid, isn't it? On the rest of the rest of the witches cultists. Easy for me to say. Then Wilhelm cuts Betelgeuse in half. Clean cut, by the way, Wilhelm. Very nice indeed. Everyone's scared of the gospel. Basically, if you have it, makes you become a cult member. Basically, they don't want to touch it. They don't want to look at it. They think it's going to immediately turn you, and that's not how reading works. Reading is not to be feared. You're not going to immediately get indoctrinated. Although, in this world, maybe you will. Who knows? They have to kill 9 more fingers. Subaru keeps hold of the book, by the way. I should have mentioned that. 9 more fingers left to kill, and then just to be safe, they explode Betelgeuse's body, which I would say that's a very fair thing to do, and I'm on board with that decision. Subaru regroups with Team Julius, and they've killed a couple fingers too. That's everything good. Then some unseen hands show up and kill a bunch of people when everything seemed to be going well, because Nothing can go well for Subaru. Then Subaru gets dragged off by the hands. Some woman who's a cultist starts acting like Betelgeuse and has the hands like Betelgeuse. Not good. No gospel, because obviously Subaru's got it. Also, your body switched. That's another reason you wouldn't have a gospel, unless the gospel travels with you when you switch bodies? Is that how it works? That can't be how it works. That's stupid. That doesn't make no sense. But yeah, then Spirit saves Subaru. I think his name is Iya. We don't find that out till later, but hey, it's in the episode. I can't find it. I can't find it. Oh man, this is embarrassing. Iya. Yeah, it is Iya. Thanks. We'll leave that in. It's fine. But yeah, Subaru gets saved by the Cat twins and Wilhelm again. Are they twins? No, they're just siblings, aren't they? Kill the lady. Then they figure out, hey, everyone is an archbishop. I said that the wrong way round. So we got to kill everyone, essentially, and that's what they go to do. Is it just the fingers or is it everyone? I think it's just the fingers, because that would make sense, because they're fingers. I know that doesn't make sense in itself, but in the context it makes sense. Subaru's blaming himself, and Wilhelm says, nah mate, stand up and fight. Good job, Wilhelm, good advice. He says, here's a good line, he says, like, don't get stronger, just be strong. And it's like, I get what he's saying, that makes good. It's not I do sort of get that. It's out of context, it makes like very little sense. In context, it makes sense though. We got to start the evacuation, basically what's going on. Phyllis says to Subaru, hey, you got to make up with Julius, and he doesn't really want to. He's going to do it reluctantly, and then some blue petal fog shows up, and that blue petal fog is caused by Ram. What's she doing? She's a bad lady or something. I remember when I watched this originally, I thought that Ram was one of the witch cultists, and that was a silly thing. But she had a robe on, made me very suspicious. I was like, oh my god, she's a witch cultist. Grand scheme of things, I know it doesn't make sense, considering their backstory. But hey, it was 4 years ago. I was an idiot then. Well, I mean, I'm still an idiot now, but I'm less of an idiot. Anyway, second half of the episode. So Subaru gets tied up by a flower, and Pat Trash does nothing, which tips him off to the fact, hey, this is an illusion. It's not a song, but I just thought like I should do that. Julius and Subaru are the only two that return back to reality, and then Julius does this spirit mind thing, which makes them so they can talk telepathically. Ram tries to kidnap Subaru, but is stopped by Wilhelm and a few of the others as well. But then, they talk like normal civilized human beings, which they probably should have done from the start, but hey, whatever. Basically, their stories don't match up. The letter they got from Subaru and, their side was blank, which is a bad thing, basically. Almost a declaration of war, which, don't send blank letters by accident, kids. Basically, it was just a misunderstanding. Subaru put the wrong paper in the envelope. Silly Subaru. He's an idiot, isn't he? That's obviously, if you couldn't tell, I don't think that is quite what happened. But, hey-o, what can you do? Subaru gives a speech to all the villagers, basically saying, come on mates, we gotta get out of here. There's some beasts coming. And they're like, Subaru, you're a goddamn liar. And he's like, yeah, I know. They start blaming Amelia, which, they're not wrong, but they're definitely not right. That's a good way of putting it. Like, it is because of Amelia. It's not her fault. She tried to warn you and you did nothing. We learn later on. Only a bit later on, but, it's like, idiot villagers. Subaru switches tactics with his trying to convince them. Ram backs him up as well. Subaru goes for the heart and Ram goes for the brain. She's like, you have no power here. My lord orders you. Subaru has that authority. He's speaking with Roswell's thing. And they're like, well, we don't have a choice now. They begin packing. Petra is the one that tells them that, hey, Amelia showed up and tried to warn everyone. So, Subaru gets this full-on look in his face that he gets from time to time. Subaru tries to get Julius to come with him in the mansion, and then they talk about him being at Spirit Night, which I guess isn't a very good thing, because Julius is like, I can fight with the sword as well, And it's like, come on, man, I know. Don't mean anything. You can be a magic knight or a spirit knight or whatever. You can do two things. The more things you can do, the better, Talk about how Subaru basically could have great affinity for spirits as well. Don't remember if that goes anywhere. I I don't know. I remember there's a... Well, no, I won't say it. It's next week. I know most people have probably already seen it. But just in case, you know. Why would I not? Then, Phyllis, Subaru goes to him. Almost said her again. It's a boy. I have to remind myself it's a boy. Then she I just did it again. I just said as well. That was embarrassing. He knocks out a merchant who's actually a witch's cultist. Witch's finger, in fact. Witch's cultist finger of sloth, or whatever they're called. And then there's a big old explosion. Kaboom! All hell breaks loose. Subaru awakens to the village being under attack, and Ferris in no clothes. So, you know, make your own conclusions as to what happened. Wilhelm uses dust to see the hands on the finger. That's pretty clever. That's how I took it. He like kicks up the dirt and it gets on the unseen hands. Because they're still, I guess, physical things. They still get dust on them. Which is, you know, it's a good strategy by Wilhelm. Killed the dude. Well, he didn't, because then Wilhelm gets exploded by the dude. Wilhelm's not dead though. He's still alive. Julius is going to take care of him. Subaru is going to be the bait to lure the newest finger away. And that he does. Subaru takes a barrier stone from the thing, basically so to widen, make the barrier not as good. So basically, so the finger can get eaten by Mabeasts, and Mabeast eaten it does. One finger left for them to kill, and it's back in the town. Subaru heads out there, does some shouting. Amelia shows up with Puck. You remember briefly that, oh yeah, Amelia can do fighting. She can fight. Yeah, that's a thing she can do, isn't it? And she kills the dude. It's pretty cool. She uses ice. She freezes the dude to death. It's good stuff. Hooray! Everyone wins. No more fingers. The witch's cult has been defeated with minimal. No, there was quite a few casualties, but hey, you won. That's good. Except no, something happens to Subaru. He's about to go have his grand reunion with Amelia. Something happens to poor Subaru. Ia gets thrown out of him. Subaru's had Ia bitten put on him by Julius the whole time as like protection. I should have mentioned that. Hey, that's a thing. Subaru knows something's wrong with himself, so he runs away. And Julius and Ferris are like, what's going on? And they follow him. Subaru then turns into Betelgeuse, or he like gets you know what I mean. And then he's like fighting against him. And he's like, you have to kill me because that's the only way we win this. And that they do. Ferris does the water thing that I think they talk about it a few episodes ago, where they're like, hey, this is how you can kill someone with this. And then he does it, and Subaru doesn't quite die, and then Julius hits the final hit, because he's like, my indecisiveness caused so much pain for both of you, because Ferris had to do it, and he didn't finish the job, so Subaru felt the pain. But no, then Julius hits the final hit. All while they were doing this, the song Stay Alive was playing, which, I mean, that's the last thing Subaru needed at that time. So I thought it was quite ironic in a funny way. Also, when Subaru gets killed, Amelia senses a disturbance in the force, turns to look at what's going on, and then we go to proper credits. And oh no, you know, they won, but Subaru died, so they got one episode left. I wonder what could possibly happen next week's episode. I'll give you a hint. It begins with a R, B, D. That's the acronym. I literally couldn't remember if that was the right acronym. But yeah, this, like last week's episode, this was another one where having the two stitched together I thought was a good call, if that makes sense, because it's like this life put together, if that makes sense. And at the end he died. Not like you know, last week we had the whale, and that was just the fight. He didn't die, good stuff. And then this one we had this thing, then he died. So I wonder what's going to happen next week. He's going to come back and he's going to think of a new plan, is essentially what's going to happen. Yeah, sad it's going to end, but I'm a bit annoyed that they haven't put any new scenes in, because I know there's been some they could put in. And I've been one of the people saying, don't worry, they'll put more stuff in Arc 3. We're on the final episode next week and they've done nothing, you know? If nothing else, it's been fun to rewatch, so that's good. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. I will see you next week for the finale of this, so that'll be good. At the weekend, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to do what I'm watching for next season, so stick around for that as well. See you next week, guys. Take care, and bye, guys.